Hello children. So we have come to the unit of biotechnology for term 2, and this is the first chapter of biotechnology, that is principles and processes. So we are going to understand the principle and processes of biotechnology. So before going to the biotechnology part, it is a technological employment, or it consists of two different parts, that is biology and the technology, where we have to amalgamate two different sciences or two sciences that can come together and make the changes that are beneficial for human being. So, biotechnology is a combination of biology and technology, and especially the engineering. So, in this unit, we will learn in the first chapter the principles and processes, how it is performed, and in the second unit, second chapter, we will be dealing with the applications of biotechnology. So, let us understand the first part, that is principles and processes of biotechnology. So we will be learning in this the definition of biotechnology, the principles of biotechnology, the tools of recombinant DNA technology. Now the term is changed. The term is recombinant DNA technology, and we'll learn the processes of recombinant DNA technology. So let us start with the first part, that is definition. So before going to the definition, I want to tell you that biotechnology is not a very new, or we can say, we cannot say that it is a very newer type of technology, but we have seen that in our whole time we used to obtain products like curd, wine, vinegar, bread, cheese, and these products, they were extracted from the natural resources with some or other processes, but and we can compare these processes also as a biotechnological processes. So according to the definition of biotechnology deals with techniques of using living organisms or enzymes from organisms to produce products and processes useful to humans. Okay, we will be using live organism or enzyme from organism means living, and will produce and process useful to human. So this is the first definition, generalized definition of biotechnology. And what is biotechnology? It refers to the technology using biology which has applications in agriculture, food processing, medicine, diagnostics, bioremediation, waste treatment, and energy production. As per European Federation of Biotechnology, it is defined as the integration of natural science and organisms, cells, parts thereof, and molecular analogues for products and services. Okay, so this consists of a definition which is given by the European Federation of Biotechnology, and it is saying that biotechnology is an integration of natural sciences and the other organisms and the molecular analogues for the benefit of human being. In modern biotechnology, it is based on two cores. One is genetic and second is chemical engineering. So the principles of biotechnology depends on two important concepts, that is genetic engineering and maintenance of sterile environment. So engineering always mean to create new. So to engineer something, or to make changes in something, and to make a thing that is changed or engineered. Similarly, we have in biotechnology, we have to maintain a very sterile environment so that no change or whatever we want, that is only formed and not something other than that. Okay, so the principles of biotechnology depends on genetic engineering and the maintenance of sterile environment. Now let us know what is genetic engineering. The genetic engineering is the introduction of foreign genetic material, DNA or RNA, into the host genome and altering its phenotype. This is very important. So what we are going to do, we have to introduce a new foreign genetic material into the host genome and alter its phenotype. Phenotype, you know, the external characteristics, and there will be change in external characteristics. Techniques to alter chemistry of genetic material. So the chemistry of genetic material, like you have learned in mutations, there is a change, any kind of change in a base sequence will produce a different phenotype, and diseases, genetic diseases like sickle cell and all, they are one of the kind, one of the examples of what the change in genetic structure can lead to. DNA and RNA to introduce these into the host organisms and thus change the phenotype of the host organism. Here you can see the gene desired for biological substances. A new gene has been introduced, and now the new organism or the organism with a new gene or new entry genetic material is there after doing genetic engineering. Okay, so this is called engineering, to engineer gene. Now, how to maintain the sterile environment and why? What is the need? So, maintenance of sterile environment or ambience in chemical engineering processes to enable growth of only desired microbe. And we want to grow only the desired microbe. For example, if I want to grow a particular bacteria and I want the bacteria to produce a particular enzyme E1, so it should produce a particular enzyme E1 only, and for producing that E1 enzyme, the bacteria should be made in a sterile environment. It should be given a sterile environment so that only the enzyme that we want should be produced, and there should not be contamination of any other object. So eukaryotic cell in large quantity for manufacture of biotechnological products like antibiotics, vaccine, enzyme, etc. You can think of any antibiotic, if not made in a sterile environment, can lead to a dangerous or it can lead to a harmful product. So that's why maintenance of sterile environment is also one of the important point. It involves maintenance of contamination-free ambience in chemical engineering process for manufacture of products such as antibiotics, vaccines, etc. This is done so as to enable the growth of only desired microbes responsible for a bioprocess. We should grow only the desired microbe responsible for that process. Okay, so these are the two principles of biotechnology, that is genetic engineering and to maintain a sterile environment. Now, what does genetic engineering need? And asexual reproduction preserves the genetic information while sexual reproduction preserves. So, we have to perform asexual reproduction because it is more easier and it maintains the same type. Plant and animal hybridization process often result in introduction of undesirable gene. So the asexual reproduction that we use for producing is called cloning. Okay, So clones, they are, you learnt in chapter number 1, what are clones? Clones are genetically and morphologically similar organisms that are produced through asexual reproduction. Genetic engineering overcomes this limitation, so we do not have any introduction of undesirable gene if we are performing any genetic engineering works. It includes creation of recombinant DNA, gene cloning, and the gene transfer into host organism. So, gene creation of recombinant DNA, then clone, and then introduction into the host. The introduced piece of DNA does not replicate in host unless it is integrated with the chromosome of the host. It will not replicate of itself. It has to get integrated with the, as we have learnt in the HIV AIDS process, we learned that the virus get incorporated or integrated into the human cells, and then it multiplies. So it uses all the machineries of a eukaryotic cell to increase in its number. For getting replicated, the foreign DNA must integrate into the host DNA sequence having origin of replication. So we'll learn this in the further processes. Okay, so these are the three basic steps of genetically modifying organism. If you can see here, you will see that the first process is gene is inserted into a plasmid vector. Now you know plasmid vectors, these are extra chromosomal DNAs that are present in bacteria. Okay, so the plasmid vector act as a vector. The gene of interest is copied here, and then it is sent into a particular bacterium or any host cell, okay, where it will express itself and it will produce the desired material that we want to produce. So identification of DNA with desirable genes, maintenance of introduced DNA in host, and transfer of DNA to its progeny, and introduction of identified DNA into host. So these three steps, they are required for genetically modifying an organism. Now, so this is very important because it is engineering. So we need tools. Engineering needs tools like hammer and all, chisels and plug. These are not needed in biotechnology, but it needs tools. The tools are scissors, which are enzymes, restriction enzymes, cloning vectors, glues. We need glue for joining cloning vectors. We need something that is ready to take our product to somewhere, to take our gene into somewhere else. So there is a need of tools of biotechnology, that is restriction endonuclease enzyme and cloning vector and competent host. So these three are the tools of biotechnology: endonuclease, cloning vector and competent host. So we will take the first part. Now the first is restriction enzymes. They are specialized enzymes that recognize and cut a particular sequence of DNA. Nucleases, these are restriction nuclease enzymes. So these restriction nuclease enzymes, they are of two types. One is endonucleases and another is exonucleases. So endonucleases, you will find that they cut DNA at specific position. For example, this is a DNA, and if we put this DNA in with the endonuclease enzyme of a particular kind, specific position, if it is specific to this sequence, it will cut this into separately and it will cut it into different portions. Okay, now how it is doing, that we will learn. Exonuclease, it is different. How it is different? It cuts the DNA at the ends, at this end. So 5 prime to 3 prime and 3 to 5 prime. So it will cut at the endings. So cut DNA at the ends, remove nucleotides at the ends of DNA. So these are the two different types of restriction nuclease enzymes, and we are mostly in the use of endonucleases. So what is restriction endonuclease? Because endonuclease, they are mostly used in genetic engineering experiment. So in 1963, two enzymes are responsible for restricting the growth of bacteriophage in E. coli were isolated. Okay, so two enzymes were isolated that was seen to restrict the growth of DNA, and that in E. coli. So they were isolated. The enzyme which add methyl group, it was deoxyadenosine methylase, and the enzyme which cut DNA was a restriction endonuclease. So we have these two isolated. The first endonuclease was HIN2. So this is a very different name also. The first endonuclease enzyme is HIN2 from Haemophilus influenzae, and it was isolated by Smith in 1968, and it was found that to cut DNA at a particular point having specific sequence of base pair. Okay, so they are very specific and they cut DNA at only a specific base pair. For example, we will see some more examples. Now how the names are given. So for example, this is a restriction endonuclease called as ECO-R and Roman 1. So ECO means Escherichia coli, and this is the name of the bacteria. The R is the strain, that is Y strain, and 1, the Roman 1 number indicate the order in which enzyme was isolated from the bacteria. So we have restriction enzyme, like we know two restriction enzyme, HIN2 and ECO-R1. So restriction enzyme, they recognize palindromic sequences. Okay, they recognize palindromic sequences, that are DNA sequence or base pair that read same on two strand. Okay, same on two strand with orientation of reading is kept at the same. Like you learned that Malayalam can be written in the same way, like Dalda is there. So DALD. Okay, like in Hindi we learn Malayalam is there. So like G, we will see the examples here. So this is there. Now GAATTC. So this is a specific enzyme, specific recognition sequence recognized by a enzyme, restriction enzyme called as ECO-R1. ECO-R1 will recognize only this particular type of basic sequence. So that's why they are very specific. So ECO-R1. Now how it is performed? Action of restriction enzyme. The enzyme cut both the DNA strand at the same site. So vector DNA should also have the same site. Foreign DNA should also have the same site. You can see here the base sequence is GAATTC, and here also GAATTC. So the ECO-R1 will cut both the DNA at the specific site. After cutting it will produce ends. So these ends will be called as sticky ends, like so that this can get stick to the other one. So we are learning only now we are learning only about the action of restriction enzyme. So restriction enzyme, they cut the DNA at a specific location and produce a sticky ends, and in some of the organism it can produce blunt ends also. Blunt ends will have this type of end, and they will stick together with the help of ligase. So this we will be learning in the next part. So this is also again the same naming restriction enzyme. You know how the names of restriction enzymes are done. So here are some examples, like E. coli, ECO-R1. R is what? strain, and one is the order of discovery, EcoR2. Now the specific sequence here, GAATTC. Okay, and they will cut here at GAATTC, and just opposite of that E. coli 2 CCWGG, Bacillus BAM H1, Bacillus amylo liquefaciens GGATCC. Hint 2 was the first. Okay, hint 2 was the first. That is Haemophilus influenzae and AAGCTT. Okay, and TAC1 Thermus aquaticus TCGA. So these are some of the examples. Thank you for watching, and this much is today. For today, we'll move to other part in the next video. Thank you.